Sometimes, as enablers of change, we just need a few more ideas to help us plan, design, and run our activities. As we've been facilitating online and slowly getting back into physical events, we've realised we like using cards as a resource in our facilitation. So, what picture card sets do we use and how do we use them? Here's a few we've got in our toolbox.
The first card set I've used a lot over the years, and it's called Picture This. They're basically just a set of photographs of all kinds of things, from rural mailboxes to a roller coaster. I've used these cards to start a workshop as a means of helping participants introduce themselves. So, for example, I might ask them to choose a picture that represents the topic we're talking about, or tells us about their life at the moment. And then they can introduce themselves and tell us a bit of a story using the picture. Another way I've used them is at the end of a workshop, asking participants to pick a card that represents how they felt about the workshop or what they learned. It's a great way to help people be a little creative, but without too much pressure. And it gives people something to hide behind. Even a picture gives someone who doesn't like speaking in front of a group something to be behind and helps them feel a bit safer. I bought my set from Innovative Resources, a place we'll mention at least once more, so we'll put the link in the show notes. But if you don't want to buy a set like this, you could always make your own by printing out a range of pictures or using photos you've taken. I'd laminate them just so they can survive a bit of wear and tear, but it's pretty easy to come up with a set of cards like this.
The next set of cards is one I've used for years, and also from Innovative Resources, called the Bears. These are a set of 48 cards with illustrated bears in various emotional states. They're a great way of allowing people to talk about their feelings. You might remember from the oral discussion technique that we can be tempted to skip the reflection on feelings part, but these cards give people something to hold on to and talk about. For a lot of Aussie and Kiwi blokes, it's sometimes hard to put our emotions into words. I've found these cards make that a whole lot easier, and it's fun. I'll sometimes use these at the beginning of a workshop to help people describe how they're feeling about the particular topic we're going to discuss. Other times, I'll use them at the end of the workshop as part of the evaluation, where people can use the cards to describe how they're feeling about the workshop or about taking the next steps.
The third set of cards I've been using a bit more lately are a variation on the bear cards John's just talked about, and they are the feelings and needs cards. One half of the deck has a range of feelings, such as thankful, nervous, or furious, one per card. The other half of the deck has needs written out, for example, clarity, honesty, or support, one per card. Like the bear cards, they can be used to help people reflect on how they're feeling. Just ask people to choose at least one card and get them to share the feeling and anything else they want to explain as part of that. I've used these at the start of a workshop to do a check in, asking the participants how they're feeling. And then I've used the needs cards to help people express what they need from the workshop. I've actually got two sets of these. One is a plain set, the other is a set in both English and Maori. This has been one way I've been trying to incorporate Maori words into my vocabulary and thinking, although I have got a long way to go on this, John. We've added a link into the show notes for a few options, including ones you can print out yourself if that's easier.
The fourth set of cards are ones that help us with our practice as facilitators. They're from Kath Murdoch in Australia and are called the Art of Inquiry cards, 10 practices for teaching and learning. Kath is a teacher, writer, university lecturer and consultant who has worked in a range of schools and countries, and she champions integrative and inquiry-based methodologies. Inquiry is the process of prompting curiosity, involving questioning, investigating, experimenting, and reflecting. It's most often used in the context of school-based learning, but the principles Kath works through in her cards are critical to effective facilitation. So we think it's worth looking outside our discipline to keep learning.
The fifth set of cards is one I've seen being used and read about, but haven't used myself yet. These are from Chad Littlefield of We and are called We Connect cards. They're a set of 60 cards designed to help start conversations and build trust and connection. There are 20 cards that ask questions that are fun and light, 20 that ask questions that are a bit deeper, and the final 20 cards that encourage self reflection. I saw these used online as a way of doing introductions. So, just before people got sent into a breakout room to introduce themselves, the facilitator held up a card and typed the question into the chat box. Participants were asked to share their answers as part of their introductions. Like other card options we've mentioned, you can also print these out for yourself for free as long as you sign up to get emails, which is a pretty good deal, John.
It sure is, Denise, and those look like a really interesting set of cards to use, because I haven't used them yet myself either. So, folks, there you have our 5 recommendations for using picture cards as facilitation resources. And now you've heard our thoughts, we'd like to hear yours. Add a comment below the blog post and tell us about your experiences using picture cards when you're facilitating. What have you used and what's worked well? Please add any tips and further ideas. We don't want this just to be a one-way conversation. Join in by sharing your thoughts and ideas with us.
Thanks, folks, for joining us on this Enablers of Change episode. Remember to subscribe to our newsletter if you'd like to know when new episodes are available. And if you liked what you've heard, please tell your friends so they too can join in the conversation.
All the best until we meet again.